Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine Ball.
And Jennifer Denny.
And it is a cold and snowy day in Indianapolis, but we're safe and warm. So we're going to chat for a little bit. And we hope you'll put your comments in the chat and talk to us as well.
Yeah, I made a joke this morning. I now have a sweet bee next door, and it was very treacherous getting to that office today.
So, yeah,
I'm sorry, I had to.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad we can all laugh at the weather because there's nothing else. But it's actually kind of appropriate because this morning, we're able to chat and have conversations because we do this virtually and we leverage social media platforms to disseminate the message. And that's really one of the reasons why we like social media. How about you, Jen? What's your favorite reason for enjoying social media?
I think it just gives a little insight into who I am. It's a little guarded. I mean, you have to really know me before I give you the true because you have to be able to handle that because it can be a little crazy. But I mean, social media is just an expression of, who you are. And so I think that's great. I mean, I certainly have negatives, but I don't want to go, too far into that because there's just too many positives, honestly, to ignore it. How about you?
Well, I fell in love with social media originally because it was a way to network when I wasn't networking. Way back in the day, Twitter was my favorite hangout. This was before Facebook really let businesses play. And I really liked it for the social. Today, I appreciate the business opportunities. I appreciate being able to do things like this. Teach classes actually through social media platforms, connect with people who become guests on my podcast, people like Susan McConnell, who was our guest last week. If it wasn't for social media, I would never have met a marketing consultant from Boston.
You meet people all over the world, and that's one of the huge benefits to it is that you can meet like all of these people and get to know who they are if they will put themselves out there. And not everybody wants to do that, but
But the truth is your customers are looking for you on social media. They may stumble across you before they're ready to buy, or once they've made up their mind, there's a lot of data that says they're checking you out.
yeah, I mean, 58%, so that's more than half of people will go to a consumer's social media channel before going to the website now. Like that, so like your social media channels is your representation of your brand, and whether or not you're active or not active, depending on the channel, we'll talk about here in a little bit, like you got to be there. You can't ignore it.
No, I don't think that you can. I think it's a really critical part of your marketing. And it's also a place where I think consumers find their voice. Now, I have complained more than once on social media about a brand. And it is a way to often get them to pay attention, but it's also a way for you to figure out what the company does when they have a bad day.
Imagine that you don't have social media profiles and you're not using social listening tools, and somebody says something bad about you and you're not there to defend yourself, or they're, reaching out to you. It's like you didn't even pick up the phone when they're messaging you. Like they expect you to be all over the place now, and it's their favorite place to go to leave a review. It's their favorite place to go like, hey, I need help with this, I need help with that. Consumers don't want to pick up the phone anymore, unfortunately.
Well, consumers don't want to pick up the phone anymore. Okay, I'm old school. Consumers don't pick up the phone because companies don't answer.
You know what? How many websites do not even have a phone number anymore?
Absolutely. Or voicemail hell. Now, I get the AI. Push 1 if you're a human being. Push 2 if you're an alien. Push 1 if you're an alien from Mars. I get that helps screen calls and get you to the right places. But the truth is that if I have a simple question, but it is not part of your chain, those systems don't work for me. And social media is a good way to reach out and get those answers.
Yeah, if you leave me a voicemail, I think I have one and I wish I could play it quickly, but my husband like had left me a voicemail. It was like the beginning of the month and I got it at the end of the month. I was like, and it's so funny because he's just like, yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of Jennifer Denny. She's my wife. And I
Oh,
totally did not get it until the end of the
that's
month.
funny. Okay, so and again, I admit that I'm old school. I grew up in an era where your business revolved around the phone, and so that really was, and that was a point of difference for us. And quite honestly, we got a lot of sales because we didn't have voicemail, and people would be like, did you just answer the phone? Yes, but that's a whole different conversation. But the truth is that an entire generation is growing up and they don't use the phone for that. Their first thought is to message or to text or to use social media, and you have to be prepared for that customer base that isn't 12 anymore. They're 35 and they own homes and they buy stuff.
And we're going da 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 da, and we spend all of our time on social media already, and so it's just easy. Like it's just easy to reach out. Hi, Benny.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Benny figured out how to open the door, and you're going to get a tail. There he
There
goes.
he goes. I love
Welcome
it.
to the world of office cats. Okay, so it's a land of Oz when it comes to social media. What's your go-to platforms? What do you like? Where do you go?
Yeah, I actually put these in order. These are in order, and I had to adjust it because I had a slide where Facebook was first. Oh, and I'm missing a comment. Darn it. Um, this is the order of where people are spending their time. And so, yeah, like there's just so many of them. It's like, how many do you have? And how do I keep up with all these? I actually had everyone that was on that screen but Snapchat. How about you?
So I have profiles on all of those, including Snapchat, though I don't use Snapchat. My rule for the last decade has been if a new platform emerges, I'm going to put a profile there. I want to grab my name because I made a mistake on a couple of platforms. I didn't do it, and so I can't be Lorraine Ball. I'm Lorraine F Ball. And so, which bugs me because it's not consistent across all the platforms.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some that I play on more personally and some that are more professional. I still think TikTok is much more of a personal experience. We talked about that last week. I am toe in the water with TikTok. My favorite right now for business is LinkedIn because my target audience is small business owners. Interestingly, I've done the social media survey, and I didn't do it this because I just didn't do it this year. But I did a quick in my email, and Facebook and LinkedIn. The question: which ones do you use for business? Those were neck to neck right now among business owners.
Which two?
Facebook and LinkedIn. Not
LinkedIn.
surprised.
Okay, yeah. I'm a Facebook gal. I've come back around to LinkedIn. I was telling my husband last night I had a LinkedIn profile, I think in 2004. So I've had one for a long time, and I was active there. I just, I feel like I go to LinkedIn, I'm like, what are you trying to sell me?
Yeah, LinkedIn. Well, LinkedIn is definitely finding their stride. One of the things I was talking to somebody about recently is this idea that each of the platforms is doing too much copying from the others instead of trying to find their own way. I think that really hurt Twitter when they added the like button.
Yeah, I mean, they might have a little hesitation because look at Clubhouse. Clubhouse tried to do something different and it didn't, in my opinion, work out. And so, they're more of like, okay, well, it worked there. And well, I don't even want to go that route. I was going to go somewhere
Ah,
else.
okay,
So,
that's a good question. So for
I mean, you hit
businesses,
on it a little bit, your favorite channel.
my favorite channel, I think, and I was talking to a group of students for consumer products, real disposable cosmetics, um, kitchen appliances, food, and the travel industry. Pinterest is really, if your goal is commercialization and retail and direct links for people to buy, the data is that Pinterest is actually better than like a free, like we're going to go free against free. We're not going to go advertising for a moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pinterest is actually better than Facebook or Instagram.
I,
There's
I was
more
just
conversion to sales.
Well, and I would just say, sometimes people just want to be the cool kid. And so they want to go where, they think everybody else is at. But sometimes being the
Mm-hmm.
outsider, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, outlier is the word I was looking for, and go to like Pinterest where maybe there's less people hanging out, you might have a bigger impact.
Mm-hmm.
You might get people that are not so boisterous and what have you. I would imagine that's what Pinterest is like, but I'm not hanging out there that much.
I use it personally. I use it when I'm traveling. If I'm going
Hmm.
to go to an area I haven't been before, I'm pinning all sorts of stuff. So when I get to that city, oh yeah, there was that weird art museum I wanted to see. Oh, there's that garden. So I use it a lot for that. I've been surprised how much engagement I get on business content.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
what are some of your favorites by industry?
So I'm gonna challenge the B2B, B2C, like that, be on LinkedIn if you're B2B, be on Facebook if you're B2C. Like I have absolutely gotten results from both of them. So I'm gonna really challenge that. I think that it's becoming a melting pot where we have become obsessed with social media. And so we flip between different channels because we're looking for different content. So I think the question really becomes at then, like, how many channels do I need to be in?
It's funny. I've kind of come full circle on this a little bit, but not really. When I started teaching social media, 10 years ago, when I first started getting out there and talking to people, I was like, you got to be everywhere. You got to be everywhere. And then I got to this pick one and do it well.
Hmm.
And now where I am with posting tools and automation, you need to be visible everywhere.
Hmm.
You need to pay attention and really cultivate conversations on one or two. And the be everywhere, I just post just stuff just so I'm visible there.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting a lot
engaged.
of engagement, but if somebody
Yeah.
goes to my page, they're not like, oh, she never does anything.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, some of these platforms have the exact same size requirements, and there's like these scheduling tools, and it's not that hard to push another click and go to another place. So I think you need to be in as many as you can handle. I mean, I just got a Twitch account, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna do it. It was easier. It was like click of a button. So we'll see.
Now, I do think audiences have gotten more fragmented. Like 5 years ago, I think if you were posting the same content to Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter, people noticed. Now,
Yeah.
I think people have begun to add, like, really focus on individual platforms. So you really are getting your message in a lot of places. Um, like for me, LinkedIn is my go-to. I'm there every day. I'm always engaging. I'm always commenting. I may
I'm
hop on Facebook a little less often. Um,
Yeah. I'm trying to follow you. I'm trying to, keep up with your LinkedIn status, but
you're doing a good job, but Twitter. If I'm in the mood and I want to have a conversation, I'll hop in and look for certain people. But that's not. I mean, that used to be my all day, every day, and it's not anymore.
yeah. So
So
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say that if you want more of the content from us, you should look for us on social media. We are everywhere.
Yes, yes. And I'm in, you said you're toe in the water with TikTok, and I'm in. I'm in. I'm having fun. Like it's been a great time. Like I'm gonna keep going with TikTok. Well, Instagram Reels, because that's where I'm
Well,
getting.
I'm finding that the TikTok videos that I put on Instagram do well on Instagram. So I guess I'm there.
Yeah.
I guess I'm there.
Welcome to the club.
Awesome. Well, if you've enjoyed today's conversation, we have a surprise for you, don't we, Jen?
Yes, we're gonna go live twice today.
There's so much digital marketing news that we're going to have a special episode. It'll be in your feed around 1 o'clock this afternoon. So less advice and tips and more just what's happening in the digital space. Be sure to join us again Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock today.
Let's do some drama. No, I'm just kidding.
And if you're looking for ways to implement and really have somebody else help you with all of this, be sure to check out elevatedmarketing.solutions.
And if you want to learn how to do it yourself, DIY, there are a ton of tools inside of digitaltoolbox.club. Take care, guys.
We'll see you later.